Why, hello, everybody.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning.
Everyone and anyone.
Yeah, to the ethos of the interwebs. It's a little dark and gloomy here, but obviously we want to pop in and do a little chit-chatting. Obviously we have with us our best friend, Jinjee.
Yes.
He is currently asleep. Yeah, you're the best. We won't.
What a sweet boy.
He only likes to lay on your lap now when we stream, so he doesn't sit in his spot, which makes it a lot harder to capture him.
The spot is my lap, and that's fine.
The spot.
But he doesn't really like me touching him, which is really annoying.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
It's like, let's see.
Don't sit on me and then not want pets.
We'll see if Carl's eating. Doesn't look like Carl's at the feeding station.
We slept in a little bit this morning.
We did indeed.
That's why we're a little bit late, which is probably why no one is here.
We also did a little bit of mole work yesterday.
Oh, yes.
We found a couple other
some deep holes.
That usually it seemed like they were going in from the sides of the culvert into what we assume is like a den by the culvert.
Yeah.
And then these ones were like angled towards the culvert, and we were able to slide a hose like
deep down.
Yeah, like a couple feet into this
probably
hole.
Like 4 feet.
Yeah, and then basically
we flooded it.
Yeah, we don't have pressurized water system. Well, we do in the here
house,
and in the camper, but outside, like, we can't just attach a hose and.
We use gravity.
Yes, gravita.
To feed the water.
Yeah.
From the bucket through the hose.
From a barrel.
Into the molehill.
Yes.
And we didn't see it come out anywhere.
It didn't run.
And you emptied, like, how much water, probably?
It's probably like 30 gallons.
30 gallons of water into our driveway,
Yes, we know about eroding our own dirt, our own culvert.
Yeah.
Manually, but it's actually a little too tall anyways.
Yeah,
because we
have the most ridiculous culvert.
Yeah, we had to put in like
an unorganized area.
I can't even remember the diameter of it right now, but
it's probably
because it's a highways.
It's like probably that tall. Like I could
it's like 2 feet, a 2 foot diameter, probably 24 or 36 inches.
Pretty big.
And it's because the highway technically owns the road, and that's their kind of like no argument rule.
Hey, Philip!
Hey, if it ain't the hot dog boy.
We're so happy that you're here.
The hot dog boy.
Someone to join in our conversation. We were talking about our culvert and the moles.
Yeah, we hopefully have made it.
We're hoping that
it didn't die. Maybe it just doesn't want to live there anymore. It's too wet.
Well, I hope we drown them.
Yeah, that's true. We started off very like, well, no, we can't. Everything is, maybe if it just goes in and out of the same hole and doesn't make a mess.
We were very like live and let live about this thing when we first. Like at the very beginning, we thought they were ants, so we weren't doing anything about it. But then we realized ants can't move rocks this big. This is not ants.
And I asked the neighbor if they were piling nicely sifted sand.
And they're like, no, you got moles.
No, that's
and by then, it was like a full-on mole infestation. And now, like, the fight with the moles, it's full tilt. But, yeah, we emptied like 30 gallons of water into our driveway yesterday.
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed they did.
And also, as we traverse it today, it doesn't collapse.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I did some thinking. If it happens, I'm just going to take my truck and rampage through the Caraganas in that little opening and create a new driveway. Because the neighbor, they wouldn't mind. Yeah. They are probably just happy that I can't get this to stay. They're just happy that the moles haven't gone past our yard yet because we got such a sweet culvert. How are you doing today, Mr. Phillip? We're doing pretty good. Yeah. It's a little cloudy, muggy. We woke up a little later. Yeah. We haven't seen Don Juan Carleon
But
yet.
When it starts to get chilly, he comes a little bit later in the day. Like, so his morning breakfast is later and his evening breakfast is earlier. He comes in during the warmer parts and feeds heavily.
He does. I've never seen a cat like usually they're like smaller bites, but he literally like chunks, like he takes big bites, like he's eating a Whopper. Death rate dropped by around 40%, so everyone in my industry is bored, but it'll pick up. They gotta die sometime.
I mean, we are going into the winter season, so people will start getting sick and dying. So
yeah, and I mean, I think COVID's having a resurgence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think I've talked about this before, but the movie Mr. Brooks. If you...
Oh, doesn't that have Kevin Costner in it?
Yes. And it also has Dane Cook, which probably makes it a little less interesting to most people these days. But Mr. Brooks is this.
Oh, and William Hurt.
Is he?
Yeah, it says Demi Moore, Dane Cook, and William Hurt. I like William Hurt. He's a good actor.
The what this camera's showing is my leg. I'm gonna turn that off maybe. So Mr. Brooks is
I've never seen this
2007.
movie.
So Kevin Costner is actually
a well-respected businessman
who is also a serial killer. And Dane Cook figures out that he's a serial killer.
Oh, and then he wants him to teach him,
and
right?
he wants him to teach him. But one of the reasons he is able to get away with so much is because he says the only two things that you should invest in are graveyards and water. Because those are the two things that are gonna always happen. So he owns a bunch of graveyards, hence why they can't find the bodies of the people he kills.
Yeah, I've never actually seen it.
Oh, it's got Matt Schloessl.
Don't know who that is.
And Michael Cole.
Philip said he saw this years ago. It's great.
Yeah, 2007. That's it's closer to being 20 years ago than it wasn't.
Recently when we've been watching movies, a lot of the time we just look for I tend to look for older movies because, remember going to Blockbuster and Rogers Videos? Looking through the older movies was sometimes way more fun than looking through the new releases. I know for myself, I loved going to the anime section and looking at all the different animes and renting ones I hadn't seen. Or the sci-fi section and renting random sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, I used to love the old horror and
movies.
Sci-fi movie covers that are I don't know, nostalgically cool. I can't think of
I don't miss the price of renting movies, but I miss the actual physical excursion of you go and you look at all the different types of movies, maybe buy some candy while you're there as well, or at least stop at the 7-Eleven and get maybe cheaper candy because usually Rogers and Blockbuster had a markup on that shit. And then you go home, maybe also if you have a video game, you rent a video game. And you stay up till 3 a.m, watching your movie and playing video games and eating candy with your friends. Man, I'm having such a nostalgia moment.
Yeah, Blockbuster was not bad. It was also a thing to do. You had to go.
The 90s and early 2000s were such a much more simpler
I don't
time.
miss rental fees.
No, not at all.
I don't think the cost of renting it, to rent a movie now.
The experience of it all was fun, though.
Yeah, to rent a movie now, I think is quite on par, if not more expensive, depending on how early you watch it.
Yeah.
Because I think, say, the Barbie movie on Amazon, it's $30 to rent, right?
Yeah, and you used to be able to buy a movie for $30.
But you'd have to wait probably a little longer till it was out of theaters. But yeah, Hey, Deadweight Nate, good to see ya.
I remember when
classic tapes.
The one rental
pizza?
video place in Moose Jaw was going out of sale. My mom and I went there and we bought all of the Planet of the Apes movies on VHS And then we had like a weekend where we just sat around watching like all of the Planet of the Apes movies. It was a lot. I do believe I fell asleep at some point, but it was great.
I don't know if I've seen them all. I think I have.
There's a lot. There's a lot of Planet of the Apes. Like, I'm talking like the old ones.
I'm pretty sure that I have. At least I've seen the oldest ones. I don't think I've seen all the new ones.
I would rewatch them.
Fart.
The old ones.
I had a friend that growing
I love
up,
old sci-fi shit.
when
like Logan's Run.
I'd sleep over at their farmhouse. We would watch all the Rambo movies, all the Rocky movies, all the Predator movies. What was the other franchise that we would watch? All of them. But yeah, that's kind of what we always did. I mean, it was like they had Farmer Vision, which was like 5 channels. So
I remember my one friend that I slept over at her house the most, Stephanie. We would always watch anime and then sit around and draw anime.
Me and my cousin would do that too.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball Z and then try to draw them.
Oh, and also because the internet was kind of a new thing, we would look at like internet web pages about the anime
Logan's
that
Run.
we really enjoyed. I love Logan's Run.
Fresh harvest day, fish and sea greens, plankton and protein, fresh from the sea. I don't remember that robot specifically from Logan's Run, but yeah, that era of sci-fi is probably my favorite.
It's kind of campy.
Trizzle Manizzle, good to see you, bud. Glad to see you. Want to see Cozy, Trizzle? You want to see freaking Cozy, bro?
I'm super cozy.
Look at that.
He's super cozy.
Hi, Cozy. You should Google the robot. Hilarious. I will.
Beep, beep.
Oh, Jinjee boy. He's so cute. He's so freaking cute. We have to hold it because he's not in his spot. So this is the Jinjee camera. But he's not. You want to hold it?
My name's Jason,
And I like Jinjee. That's.
So you need to turn it on.
Yeah, but that's what Trizzle was saying to Jinjee. I had to switch around my hotkeys because they were triggering other events on the computer. So sometimes I don't remember them all. Let's see if Carl is there. Nope, still no Carl at the feeding den. It's good to see you, Trizzle. We were just talking about Blockbuster. And then I'm going to Google this Logan's Run robot. How about fresh? Fresh from the sea, natural botanicals. So, also, you guys, Krissy had mentioned this yesterday, like, what is this Lilo? I thought maybe I would just mention it. But I've been, as they refer to it in Nerdland, distro hopping on Linux, which means you try out a lot of different versions of Linux, you know, find the one that works for you. And in and amongst my travels upon the intergalactic highway, I came across this search that's called Lilo, and what it is basically the version that we're using currently. They say we don't want any money or anything.
Philip found
oh, nice.
for us.
But if you could use this search, what it does is as you search, it gives you something called water drops, and which is like a redemption, right? And you can use those water drops to fund these humanitarian projects like sea turtles, SPSAs. It is for some reason showing French right now. It didn't auto, but yeah, I just thought it was kind of like you know what? It's not like Google always finds it any better, so might as well just set it as the default and give it a try like that. I figured it's one of those things that allows you to feel like a good person without doing anything specifically, like recycling.
Very Jinjee.
And sea greens and protein from the sea. Fish
and plankton.
I don't remember this.
I don't remember this either.
And protein from the sea. Fish and plankton and sea greens and protein from the sea.
I do not remember this bit whatsoever.
Is it
from
just on
Logan's Run.
repeat?
And sea
There's no
greens
way it says it that
and
many
protein
times.
From the sea. Fish
Yeah, it's just
This
repeat.
was loaded 16 years ago?
It's
Was
when
that
they
like
first
when,
escaped.
when did YouTube start?
I don't remember that part of the movie for some reason. I've seen that movie many times. I do not remember that part.
Don't watch any others. You'll see naked Jenny Agutter? So the site launched... Oh, wait. YouTube... Google bought the site in 2006. So in 2006, 16 years ago, December 22nd, 2006, like a month after YouTube became YouTube, somebody uploaded this.
Fish and plankton and sea greens and protein from the sea.
The internet is for porn. You want a slice of mangled pie. Silly hat, man.
We have one piece of pie left from that pie I made yesterday.
And it's technically yours.
Yeah.
Silly hat man's got the silliest willy around.
It is good pie though. It's really
I
good
ate
pie.
an entire half of an apple pie. And you know what? I don't feel any worse today than I do most days. So it must be healthier than,
Yeah.
I don't know what, Old Dutch ketchup chips.
There was like
maybe?
a whole cup of sugar in that filling.
That's not enough. That means I only ate half a cup of sugar.
Yeah.
Jinjee.
Yeah, I'm from Saskatchewan.
Up a Canada, eh?
Canada, eh?
It's up a Canada, eh? Even you might feel bad, but you look good, so it's a wash.
Healthier than anthrax. That's true. It was also
Philip knows about anthrax too because he watched The Power of Love, The Power of the Hall, The Power of Ropes.
I keep touching the cat's tail and it's pissing him off. Can I give this to you so I can hold my hands like this? And now I'm not touching the cat.
Look at him. He's like, I am pissed.
He's like, I'm comfortable, but I am pissed.
Let's see. I keep checking for Carl.
No, Carl.
No, Carl. I should have brought that bowl in. There's nothing in it. You guys.
Hey,
Plankton.
guys.
Fresh food from the sea. I still can't believe I wasted hours on that fucking rope movie. It was bad.
We told you not to watch it.
It wasn't good bad
We
like
told you it was a
Velocipaster.
terrible movie.
Velocipaster was great. This movie is trash. We do have to run into town. Thanksgiving is on Monday, so everything will probably be closed. So.
Philip, there's been plenty of movies that I said that you should watch. I don't know if you've watched those ones yet, but I specifically said don't watch Power of the Dog.
Don't watch The Power of Dog.
But you should watch Buckaroo Banzai. That's a thing that you should watch.
Did you know Google bought YouTube for $1.65 billion in 2005?
I did not.
That's
That
a
was
lot of money back then.
That's a shitload of money.
Actually, you know, sometimes when you spend a shitload of money, you realize, oh crap, like, oh, I meant to tip you $10, not $100, and you're like, I'm embarrassed to ask for a refund, but I need it because I got to buy drugs with that other money, the rest of that money. But this was an article that I came across while I was searching. There's a website that Dexerto, I don't know, it's like social media news and movies and technology and a bunch of weird stuff. So this particular streamer on the old Twitchki, I don't know them. We're not friends. We've never gone for a hot pizza dinner.
Don't know this person at all.
They're apparently a Fortnite streamer, which would make sense of that. But apparently what happened is somebody had donated $27,000. They revealed a old donator, had been refunded that amount. And basically the screenshot they posted was that their account is $10,000 in the negative now because of this refund. So it's such an interesting...
Like, that shouldn't even be possible.
Yeah, it's such an... Like, the first thing that pops into your mind is like, how can you allow people to give $27,000 donations on Twitch or whatever, right? Like, there should be paperwork for that. You should want something that you can get to put on your income tax or your taxes.
Close to a full year's salary.
Yeah,
for
that's
some people.
like charity at that point. And the fact that it's basically on PayPal, there is something like a trigger that's like automatic refunds or like no refunds or approve refunds, right? So this person had the automatic refund thing set up, which is, I mean, normal. I mean, you don't want to have to deal with that shit all the time if somebody puts in a 2 instead of a 3 or whatever, or vice versa. And the interesting part is that I didn't even think about it being Twitch being used for scams in that aspect. So the article kind of goes on to talk about how a common PayPal scam is that they will give you this donation or whatnot on their company card or their business card, and then they will refund it or reclaim it back on their personal cards.
I'm just so surprised that they can refund it to a card of a different number. Like, I've worked plenty of retail in my life, and the way that all the systems are set up, it has to be the same card to get refunded on. So the fact that this system has that huge fucking oversight is crazy to me.
Then there's that part of me too that goes like, I would be so suspicious if somebody gave me $27,000 I would be like,
what are you, like, are you trying to launder money through me?
I would like phone PayPal and be like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Send it back to them because, like you said, I didn't even, like, we were talking about it a little bit before, but like, you could launder money that way.
Absolutely.
You could, I never really thought about those donationary systems as being potentially a way for people to do that, right?
Yeah,
like,
launder huge amounts of money.
Like, I think you can use crypto.
Mind you, if you do want to launder money through us, but then just like give it to us and let us have it, that's cool too. But I mean, allegedly.
Does that work there? I don't think so. I heard that if you commit a crime or you're about to commit a crime or a crime has been committed, just say allegedly.
Allegedly.
It's just like Jinjee is allegedly in a good mood.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that you think if somebody was to pay a crypto and get a refund in a different currency, that would be a way to, say, potentially launder cryptocurrency too. And I don't know, I just thought it was interesting because it's weird to think about, like, I don't know, banking on that $27,000. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. Like, this guy was like, oh, someone just gave me 27 grand. What a nice person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, like I said, that's...
Wasn't there a big Turkish streamer that was laundering huge sums of...
Oh, God.
Oh, probably. Let's see.
Turish.
Yeah, Turish. Sorry, I have to cock my hand funny so it doesn't block Jinjee's camera. Turkish streamer... Twitch.
Money launder.
Money laundry.
Laundering.
Ha! Streamer said cack! Streamer said. Turkish police detained 40 people over a Twitch scam.
Oh, wow.
Money laundering schema.
About a year ago. A little over a year ago.
Oh. Turkish police detained 40 people. 9 million user-created channels on Twitch. There it is. We learned that an operation was carried out against 44 suspects, including 6 children, in 11 provinces by the Istanbul Anti-Cybercrime Branch, Directorate, and various individuals were detained. Interesting. No figure. Oh, sorry. small Turkish streamers were listed as cashing out anonymously large sums of monies up to $18,000 per day, despite viewer accounts of 40 or 50, which is still good. Yeah. If you get 40 or 50, you're probably feeling good about yourself. Interesting.
Very.
So they were basically whatever they were doing to get their money illegally, they were then donating it through Twitch back to themselves.
To clean it.
I mean, I would imagine that's what most, like I guess call me ignoramus if you choose, but I guess I thought there would be some kind of fraud detection on these sites for something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like anomalous
like I just
illegal activity.
Going back, but also going back to the original article, the fact that they're able to refund it to a card of a different number is a huge original glitch in the system. That if that's fixed, it'll take care of a certain amount of other fraud. But yeah, the fact that they don't have an entire fraud section that's dedicated to dealing with this stuff, when we have an article about how they're planning on laying off employees.
Yeah, I just got rid of it actually. Yeah, but Twitch had sent out a big letter to all their staff saying basically we're going to be doing
prepared for layoffs.
I personally, I think that they're in a time where there's even Twitter. Elon Musk went on Twitter showing that it's going to be a viable streaming platform. He was trying to speed run Diablo, and I mean there was issues obviously because whatever they had flickering in the game, which apparently it could be a bitrate problem, all that kind of crap. But in a time where Rumble, Kick, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, everything is gunning to stay on top. Twitch is bowing out slightly.
Yeah.
They're going oh, well, you know what? We're not going to renew the contracts of these big streamers because we don't maybe make the revenue back from having them bring in all these kids to watch Minecraft who don't have bank accounts. I don't know, stuff like that. Oops. So I thought it was interesting because it made me think about so many various things that were should you be able to donate $27,000 just willy-nilly like that?
Yeah.
This is a lot of money. That's
yeah, but you would think that there would be some sort of fraud check that would prevent people from being able to donate that large sum of money just for that particular reason.
Yeah. It is interesting too that they I don't know, it's almost want to alienate certain things.
Yeah.
But I mean, can't say that I know how to run a website.
We certainly aren't experts on the issue.
Yeah,
we just have our opinions.
Yeah, I don't know. I still go on and watch some of the people that obviously we're friends with. The UCanes and HLGs and Curious and stuff. But
I miss Abby.
Yeah, hopefully she's doing good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just everything I see is basically it's devolving into we're getting into a dystopian entertainment where soon enough the UFC or whatever is going to announce actual bare knuckle boxing, and then it's going to be go to toysrus.com to watch this person, I don't know, tattoo their own face for $20 donations.
Why would you go to Toys R Us for that?
I don't know. Just because I just mean in a sense of the reason that guy shaved his head was because that last streamer we were talking about with the $27,000 donation, several months before they had a $8,500 donation, so they would shave their head, which is I find it so dystopian to pay people money to embarrass themselves for entertainment on a global scale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is very late stage capitalism for sure.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll look at like recommended channels and I see it and it's somebody who's like shaved their head on stream, half of their head, started like writing people's names on the one side of their head while they're wearing a coconut bra in a pool filled with jello, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? It reminds me of Dax Shepard in that Idiocracy scene where he's like, and the person's just like covering themselves in mashed potatoes and farting. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much what it's getting to. But
that person that like locked themselves in the closet and tortured themselves with like
self-torture for entertainment is strange. You should only be allowed to pay for soapy titties and toe pics. Yeah. I read an article about somebody who got a OnlyFans person tattooed on their wrist, their name, so he could get a lifetime subscription, which is like, I don't know. It's just like, so.
Also, how long is she going to be in the business?
Yeah,
but I mean, tattoos can get removed nowadays as well. So, say she stops next year and he needs to move on, he can just go get that tattoo lasered off.
There probably is certain parts of the body too, like say on the hand. If you got it, you could wear it off yourself naturally, right? You could just be like, wow, okay, that looks bad, but yeah. And she quits in 2 weeks. You never know. Things are anomalous. Every other day, Jinjee, what do you do?
Been a little bit of a time.
Every other day, something mysterious is found.
Yes, the world is a mysterious place, as it was.
And the most mysterious thing is why cats are dickheads. I'm just kidding. Only hairy palm tattoos.
Because I'm annoying him. That's why he's a dickhead.
Dickhead. Why you act this way?
Oh, don't bite me.
So, if you want to hear some horror, I just want to hear the sound. What are you doing, Jinjee? Be nice.
Oh, this one?
If you heard this, what would you think it was if you didn't already know? If it ever actually loads, I guess. Jinjee, what is that?
This is so freaking cool.
What is that?
Who runs into this?
Who knows?
So anyway,
This is
that's
the sound of two lynx in
Yeah.
Ontario that are having an intense vocal battle.
Which that's a pretty rare thing. I think we've actually shown this before. This did come out 5 years ago. But in an even more rare encounter in Alberta, a black lynx was caught on camera for the first time. They've never been caught on camera before.
Never. Unfortunately, it was caught with the same camera that's used to catch UFOs.
A Nokia brick phone.
Yeah. Like, why is it only UFOs
And Sasquatches.
Oh, yeah. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
He must be pretty far away, zoomed in
Probably.
with, I'd imagine he has a non...
Yeah.
Wow. So...
Oh, here's the video.
Yeah. This is... it was filmed in a residential area in the Yukon using a smartphone.
Oh, sorry. The researcher at the University of Alberta filmed the Sorry, it wasn't in Alberta. I take that back. But the researcher was from the University of Alberta.
Oh, of course, their dog is going ape.
So technically, this would be a panther lynx. From my understanding about how a panther works.
That is... Look at that. That dog should probably shut its mouth.
Yeah.
Hopefully this isn't... Oh my god, there's kids that live in this area?
Yeah, it was right. Didn't you see the toy on by the stairs?
This thing will eat your kids.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there was that bear attack in Banff the other day. Two adults, 62 years old, and their dog. They were experienced backpackers and like campers, got killed by a bear. The bear was unknown to the
grizzly.
area. It was a female grizzly. They said it was lower in weight than normal for this time of year. So obviously it was like real hungry, looking for food.
Yeah.
That was so Canadian. Yeah.
That was so Canadian.
I mean, I am. I am what I am, and I am all that I am.
So the experts that have studied the footage of this
Bear attack in Banff there, bud.
bear attack in Banff there, bad. No, it's not a badass motherfucker. Banff. The Banff. So the experts studied this footage and confirmed that it is indeed a lynx and not a bobcat, known as Lynx rufus. It had a black coat containing whitish-gray guard hairs throughout, as well as whitish-gray hairs in the facial ruff and the rostrum and dorsal region.
Rostrum?
What?
What's the rostrum?
Well, I guess this guy maybe seen it with his eyes a little bit better than his pictures, but like, oh yes, look, it has quite nice. I guess maybe you'd be like, yeah, that's white. He's got white whiskers. Oh, fuck. That could be, remember that dude that was, that guy who's dressed up like a border collie?
This is so weird.
$15,000 to live as a hyperistic border collie?
Look at Jinjee right now in the camera.
Ooh, that's not it. This guy, that honestly, it could be his neighbor dressed up like a fucking cat. So, melanism is an increase in the body's production of melanin, the pigment responsible for color. It's relatively common among cats, with about a third of all felid species reported to have melanistic polymorph. Black panthers, for example, are just melanistic leopards or jaguars. These kinds of genetic mutations can either be beneficial to the animal, adaptive, or negative, maladaptive. So the interesting thing about it is that we had seen a video in the past that a black panther or a panther isn't a type
of cat.
It's a color of.
It's just a black leopard or a black jaguar.
But didn't it go as far as to say even like you could almost call a black house cat?
No. It said basically if like large cats are black, they're panthers. But I think people just call like their black cats house panthers because
but it's actually significantly closer to reality than you'd think. But yeah, this particular black lynx has never been captured on camera before. Lynx are exceedingly scary. Bears are scary, obviously.
I wouldn't want to run into any of these things in the wild. Lynx, a bear.
This thing is just, but look at that cute face.
Yeah, if danger, why cute?
If danger.
Actually, it doesn't look that cute. Mainly because the picture is so pixelated. It looks a little bit like if you were to be like, what are those like wolf hounds that are like also like Irish wolfhound.
Yeah,
but also like if you see this in the wild, it surely means death.
Yeah.
Like a symbol of death.
If you see this in the wild, it's surely an old man. Pet the cat. Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
All I know is that is one nice kitty right there.
If danger, why cute?
If danger, why cute?
Right, Jinjee?
Right, Jinjee?
If danger, why cute?
If danger, why cute?
That's one fucking nice kitty right there.
Yeah, that was, we thought it was interesting to see, like, when I look at this picture, I don't know, that's kind of horrifying, isn't it?
That's a big boy.
It also does, I don't know. Mr. Levity was like, I watched this on the news. I don't know. That's a little much for me. She even looks fucking freaked out, and she's part of probably like the explaining it. So look at this beautiful. It clearly doesn't skip lay day. Panthers or praying cats are dangerous. Is that Lev? Human pups, it was called. Oh yeah, no, don't do that. Don't be human pups.
I mean, we're not here to kink shame, but it is weird.
I do.
It's a little bit weird.
The public did not agree to be part of your fetish. If you're doing fetishy things in public,
I did not consent.
Thusly, you are impeding upon my rights to
Mind
not.
you, if they're doing it at home, I can't.
Yeah, do it at home. Absolutely. Just like, don't make it so people have to explain even more things to their kids that they don't know.
I always bring up that when I was working at the mall in Moose Jaw, there was this one couple that came in one day, and like she was wearing a collar and he was leading her around on a leash. And I mean, all the power to you. Keep that shit at home. There's kids in the mall. And like, I don't want to sound like one of those like super right-wing conservative people, because I'm not, but like, I don't want to see that shit. I didn't consent to seeing you lead your girlfriend around on a leash. And also, like I said, it's a mall. There are lots of families at the mall. It's not the place and time to lead your girlfriend around on a leash. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I just, like, it's not that it's like, you know, for me, it's more like one of those people is getting horny right now, and one of those people is getting horny, and it has to do with being voyeuristic. Yeah. And I didn't agree to be part of your sickness. Not like not that it's a sickness. Your
kink.
Yeah. Like, I meant like sickness, not in a bad way. Like that's sick, you know. My wife asked me if it's okay for her to be attracted to that cat prince in The Cat Returns. Let's see this.
I mean, like, I think as a kid, I had crushes on, like, anthropomorphic animals.
I didn't.
Hey, I probably have thought he was hot. He's a hot cat. I get it.
But what about this one? He seems a little bit more refined. And this guy, he got the beef. This cat prince with the different colored eyes.
I'm getting horny thinking about that pie. There's one piece of pie left, Jason.
Jameson!
Who's that girl from Rescue Rangers? I know Rescue Rangers. Why does that sound
familiar? She's a mouse.
Oh, the mice.
You guys are weird. It's Lola Bunny.
Oh yeah, Lola Bunny. She was a beautiful bunny.
This one? Oh, I think I've heard the internet's weird about this.
Oh,
rabbit.
Yeah, okay. Or
this mouse. We were talking about are they chipmunks? Yeah, chipmunks.
Yeah.
We were talking about moles and how, you know, if they could just like stay in one spot and not make multiple holes, we'd be okay with them, just like chipmunks and gophers.
I'm really appreciating gophers at this moment in time.
Calm down, Chisel.
I hate moles. I hate moles so much.
Yeah, actually, Rescue Rangers, wasn't there a theme song a banger?
Go, go, Rescue Ranger. No, that's not it. That's Power
definitely
Rangers.
not the one. Rescue Rangers theme song. Oh, it's probably owned. You Frenching me? Why are you French?
Why is it being so dumb?
I don't know what that says. I'll have to add a translator to this.
I remember as a child thinking that Darien from Sailor Moon was very hot. Oh.
My yard. Oh, really? But I'm like in there. Well, so that they're in our driveway, Trizzle, and they're fucking eating around our culvert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
I don't really remember this theme song. You know what theme song slaps though? X-Men.
Wait.
And Silver Surfer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hold the microphone. That's it. Oh. That's
Are
the
you
part.
thinking, what was the, Ducks?
I'm sorry, Jinjee.
Or, yeah, with Scrooge McDuck, DuckTales.
Oh, yeah. DuckTales. Oh.
Which we should watch the remake of DuckTales. It has David Tennant in it.
Really?
Yeah, he's Scrooge McDuck.
My neighbor fills holes with propane. Yeah, we put a water hose in it yesterday and tried to
We dumped like 30 gallons of water down the holes yesterday.
Yeah, so if we try to drive over the driveway and it collapses, that's our fault.
There's enough big rocks in the driveway.
I don't know. It's tough because they're dickheads.
Yeah.
Why make a mess? Everybody's.
We'll probably get claimed for this so hard.
Oh, Duckburg.
I think the show made everybody want to swim in a pool full of change.
Oh yeah, this is definitely Disney Plus.
Yeah, we'll totally get claimed for this shit.
Oh.
But I do want to watch the remake.
As a cartoon? Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, they
Robot
remade it with David Tennant. He plays Scrooge McDuck, and there's other famous people in it. I don't like the search engine, Evan. Okay. I'm glad that we're getting water droplets for things, but it's a really fucking annoying search engine.
Okay, yeah, I'll fix it.
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry.
Yes, I will persist to use it on my phone.
Okay.
DuckTales DuckTales
not remastered.
Oh, no.
No, because remastered is just when you remaster something.
2021?
Yeah.
Must be this one.
I think you just and
interesting.
It has David Tennant. Yeah, Ben Schwartz, Bobby Moynihan.
Freaking Bobby Moynihan.
I just like saying Moynihan.
Oh yeah, quite a few people.
Yeah. Moynihan.
David Tennant's legit.
He was my favorite Doctor.
What movie's that?
As
from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
David Tennant? What?
I love David Tennant.
David Tennant is the best British export.
I love David Tennant.
I love
David Tennant so much. I had a big cardboard cutout of David Tennant for a long time. I got rid of it when we moved. Sadly, it was something that just would not have fit anywhere appropriately in the tiny house or the camper. It just didn't have.
It's not plugged in.
It had no room in my future life, sadly. So we got rid of it when we moved away from Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I actually had.
But I had a good run with that David Tennant paper.
The Voyage of the Damned. Oh, I had set it up in the basement so you could see the head looking out the window, and I never know if it creeped anybody out. I'm sure it did. It creeped me out.
For a long time when I lived alone, I just kind of had it as I refer to it as my first line of defense. So if you walked into my house, it was kind of just randomly placed, so you'd kind of see it as soon as you walked in. And if anyone were to break in, they would see that and be like, "Oh fuck," and then leave.
Yeah,
like I said, my first line of defense.
It caught me a couple times. Yeah. It used to be in the bedroom upstairs.
Yeah,
and
it was scary shit sometimes.
Absolutely. Oh, folks, and we're probably going to be a little shorter today. We got to run into town. We woke up a little late.
Yeah. You sounded a bit like Donald Trump when he said that. A little late.
I did everything right and they indicted me. Donald Trump, speaking of which, it's pretty hilarious that they wanted a jury court or a jury in their lawsuit, but his lawyer forgot to request it, so now it's a judge case or a judge only case, and he was ripping the district attorney apart, saying terrible things about them, and he's got to sit beside them for however long it's gonna take, but I mean, if you're gonna flap your gums like that, you gotta know that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Apparently that person was hired as like a social media lawyer or something.
Yeah.
And then she's probably the only one that didn't quit. And he's like, hey, you ever try a gigantic case?
So she's probably, not experienced enough to know that it was her that needed to request the jury. I mean, I wouldn't know that either, but I'm also not a fucking lawyer. I, as mentioned previously, studied history with unofficial minors in archaeology and religious studies, so I know a lot about bullshit nothing.
Yeah, I just make stuff up.
Yeah.
It was a lot easier pre-internet, but I'm getting by.
Yeah, he chose her purely because she looks good.
Yeah, like that's gonna have any balance on.
Sometimes looking good doesn't mean that
I was trying
you're
to show
super
Jinjee,
smart,
but
doesn't mean that you're not. But
I can't zoom out far enough to show Jinjee. Sorry, guys.
remember when Rudy Giuliani told his assistant that he was surprised that he was turned on by how smart she was?
Rudy Giuliani is fucking beazzled bub incarnate.
I normally don't find smart women attractive.
I'm normally only attracted in rodent lizards from the New York sewer. Great things. But
States.
hopefully, what's her name? AOC. She had a very impactful speech at, I think that was at the UAW strike.
I think so.
But basically, she should probably run for president.
Yeah.
She's the only person that made any sense. It's nice that Biden is backing.
I do remember when he wanted to have sex with that
unionized
lady
people.
in Borat.
Remember when he wanted to have sex with that lady?
Yeah, in Borat too. His daughter was interviewing Giuliani.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and she was also technically her character was underage, I believe, as well.
This I seen yesterday too, and it reminded me. Don't say anything.
Oh, I wasn't.
I'm gonna fix it right now. Joe Biden said that his sister is the love of his life. Is what I was gonna find. Joe Biden, my sister is the love of my life. It was just funny. Gavin Newsom. Yeah, Gavin Newsom just. What did he just approve in California? I can't remember.
Oh, wasn't it something to do for lunches for kids?
I think so.
Or was it like some sort of billionaire's tax or something like that, where like the excess funds went to help fund, or all the proceeds went to fund like school lunches or something? I think it's something that had to do with school lunches.
Yeah.
Okay, does Joe Biden have a brother? I'm lucky I have two younger brothers. I'm the oldest of three, and I've got a sister who's the love of my life. I've got a sister who's the love of my life.
I mean, I don't think he means it in that way.
I know, but he says some dumb shit. They all say dumb shit. It's like, why can't you go a couple days without saying something weird? But yes, at least he supports unions. Oh, I have a sister and she's the love of my life. What? If I said that to my sister, she would probably have me committed to a mental institution.
She'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He's 4,000 years old. It was okay back then. Yeah, he's definitely...
Yeah, the Ptolemies married their siblings.
I just, like... Why does the president always have to be so old?
They weren't.
Who was...
JFK was pretty young.
Like 50s you should shoot for at least.
I
Like,
think
wasn't like Jimmy Carter and them, they were like 50s, 60s maybe? Something like that?
Yeah, I think, wasn't JFK in his 40s? And Trudeau, I mean, he's prime minister, but he was in his 40s when he got elected.
I just don't know what Joe Biden, his great-grandkids have, like, he has no fucking idea the future they're growing up in, and he's supposed to.
Yeah, but, I think Clinton was in his, like, 50s, wasn't he?
It's like,
I think it's just recently. They're like, we love old man.
It's weird because, like, 100 years ago, the older you were, maybe the more things you did know, or the more applicable things. Mm-hmm. But now the future changes every time someone invents a new product every week, it changes the potential future outcome. So what the fuck does a 90-year-old know?
I think as America's policies have slowly moved towards benefiting the 1%, the person elected in the position of power also more reflects the image of the 1%, which is an old rich white man. Doesn't matter if you're like Democratic or Republican.
Yeah, I just think...
but that's my theory. Don't sue me.
One of the most important things that AOC said is that the uber wealthy, they trick us into fighting with each other. They trick the middle class into fighting with the lower class. And even though in their eyes we are all ants, right? So they make us infight. The survivorship bias of like, my life was hard, but I made it to retirement, and so can you. It's like, why do we want everyone's lives to be as hard as something we deemed as hard? It's like, oh, I had to live in the back of my car and rely off food stamps and had to starve, so you should too. And it's like, well, you want to get rid of food stamps, so I can't even do that. Yeah, well, and it's always blaming drug addicts in marginalized communities. Like, yeah, drug addicts were the ones that got themselves hooked on opioids. Yeah. The reason the U.S. has no laxatives is because every person that benefits from a capitalistic healthcare system was like, sure, take whatever you want. I'm really hopeful because, like I mentioned on yesterday's stream, they just recently had the provincial election in Manitoba, and the NDP won, and the new premier, his name is Wab Kinew. And so I'm really hopeful that with, like, you know, the political change, because they had elected like the progressive conservatives 2 terms in a row. And we've also been electing like the conservatives here for like multiple years. I'm really hoping that there's a new wave again of people like being like, I'm done being fucking disenfranchised and taking their power back and going and voting for the parties that are pro-social change and pro-social programs and want to make things equitable for people, not just good for the 1% who have the money to invest in the fucking companies that these shareholders and people in positions of power currently want. Well, it's funny because like Trizzle just said, and if someone takes advantage of a social service, like who cares? So what if one person ends up, you know, maybe their shoulder wasn't as bad as they said, and they got $10,000 from $20,000 from the government for healthcare. To meanwhile, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, you fucking name it, they don't pay taxes on anything, and they convince people that the problem is the person that's getting $10,000 from the government, not that. Like, Donald Trump's problem right now is there's no ramification. If he was taxed appropriately for the amount of money he has, you would never inflate the amount you're worth. If you had to pay taxes on $1 billion, you wouldn't say, oh, I actually have $2 billion if you didn't, because then your taxes would be fucking nuts. But because this ridiculous system exists, they have to convince you the person getting food stamps is the problem. Well, it's like Trizzle said, we must seize the means of production. Exactly. They think, well, it's like that one Australian real estate developer who says, like, basically, like, poor people need to suffer so they can realize how good they have it, that they're lucky to have a job. Like, get fucked. Yeah, it's like I just think about us, for example, and like how we live off of your disability income, but we also purposely went out of our way to live in, like, you know, a really small, like, tiny, like, we live in a 10-foot shed so that we can live off like a 1-person income. But I guarantee there's a lot of rich people that would look at us and be like, look at those lazy bums. But at the same point, if there was like a rich person that was like making lots of money off passive income through rental, and their wife happened to be a stay-at-home wife, they would look at that couple and be like,
That's what we aspire to be.
Yeah,
but it's because of class. It's 100% because of class.
And like, I don't know. There's obviously this conversation boils down very deeply into kind of what we said. Like I said it a little earlier is if something, you know, like say your car acts up all the time and something weird happens, you go, well, that's the car. It acts up. It's the car as an entirety that makes the other things act up. But we refuse to say a fucked up society and system has created fucked up people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you need to blame the system, not the people.
Yeah, like you don't, like generally people don't, like there are some people that are born bad.
Yeah.
They have just the right chemical mixture of DNA to be
take advantage
antisocial.
of,
or not antisocial, but what do they call it? Whatever, psychopaths. But for the most part, people don't want to have to go through the mental loops of like, you know, being bad people, like trying to be good people. They just, I don't know. It's crack cocaine argument.
Like when people,
cool,
rich people are like,
oh,
I had to drive down that street and look at poor people that were homeless. Like, so?
You
did they do anything to you? Good thing you were in a car.
Yeah, did they accost you?
Yeah, like so? Like, oh, boo, fucking who?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
it's the tent city stuff is interesting. That there's thousands of people planted and living outside of empty commercial buildings.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, we need to force everyone back to work.
And like,
so the commercial buildings don't collapse.
For being there. And it's like, we need to decriminalize survival. This is like the fact that these people are literally just trying to survive. And you're like, we need to find them and get them off here because it's making things look ugly. And us rich people don't want to look at the poors. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I said, it does definitely we could go on for quite a while and still
this stuff
not
clearly
get to the
gets
bottom.
our goat. Yeah.
There's just, it's more that kind of like Trizzle said, we all know people and we don't like that they get taken advantage of and it just becomes more societally normal.
Yeah.
Like you said, why someone who owns an apartment building who makes money off of passive income is somewhat deemed more successful than a person
that they've worked so much harder for their money than somebody who works
than
in
the
McDonald's.
person who cuts all the neighbors' grass in their elderly community for free. You know, we do things as humans where we slingshot. We go, we need to, you know, push this to the limit, like entertainment, push entertainment to the limit. And then we pull back and go, well, do we need 1,000 different streaming services? And
well, that's like, so obviously there's been the writer and actor strike, right? And the last time we were down in Moose Jaw, we were watching TV, and we don't watch regular cable TV. We watch only like YouTube or like programs that we specifically go out of our way to choose because they look good and interesting to us. So it's really interesting going down and watching cable TV because there's a part of me that's like, this is what they're striking about? This stuff's fucking shit. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what a lot of people said, is that the writing wasn't good. But that was kind of like, I mean, obviously that's a
like not everything.
Yeah,
that's super insensitive to say. But like some of it, like sometimes you're watching and you're like I do believe that you definitely should be paid a fair wage. But some of this, it's like we're watching is like, this is what we're striking for?
Yeah, if you do a live action remake of the exact thing, did you write anything?
Yeah.
But this just popped into my head. Drew Barrymore, she tried to go back during the strike.
Yeah.
And
like a week before it ended.
Yeah, and a bunch of people shit on her for it. And now that the strike is over, her head writers are refusing to return. So I just thought that was funny. You know, solidarity. You know, one for all and all for one. Yeah. All of that hoo-ha diddly diddle. Throw pennies at the poor people, Philip. You know it. But I think that's probably going to be the stream for the day.
Yeah.
Ha-ta-ta-ta-ta.
We need to go into town and grab some things. We should be getting the air filter for the car today so we can drive the car again instead of the truck.
It's true.
Because there was a mouse that died in the cab air filter, and it smelled so bad.
It was
smelled
terrible.
so bad.
Yeah, we had a little mouse house. So the neighbors were kind enough to let us order some stuff to an address that we'll get. We haven't set up
Randomly, a
PO box
lot
yet.
of death over the past week here out in our small town. There was the coyote that got schmucked on the highway, the dead mouse in our car, the dead mouse in the
I
the
think
container.
as you live in the rural, you just get more familiar with.
Us attempting to
animal
kill
death.
moles in our driveway. Which is just like, me actually accepting the whole like desire to kill something for the first time in my life. Like, I want you to die.
That was the microphone. Okay. Oh, that's a sign. That's a sign that we gotta go into town. If dead animals are on the news of the town, that's a good town. Hey, you guys have yourself a good day. Thanks for coming to hang out. Much love. Much love.
Everything.
Even the mic died.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.